Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to make simple syrup, which is also known as sugar syrup. And if you've ever looked at any cocktail books, you've probably noticed that this is a very common ingredient. So if you're getting into mixing cocktails, I would suggest that you get used to making simple syrup. I primarily use simple syrup for mixing cocktails, but people also use it in iced tea, coffee, as well as even baking cakes. As the name suggests, it is simple to make and it uses only two ingredients, water and sugar. So the goal here for making simple syrup is simply to dissolve the sugar into the water. Once dissolved and cooled, simple syrup can be added to cocktails to give it that sweet component. You may be wondering why you can't add the granulated sugar directly to your cocktails, similar to how you may add sugar to your morning coffee. And the reason is that sugar has a hard time dissolving into cold liquids, so it won't dissolve well into your cocktail, and instead it will settle at the bottom, which will lead to a very strong drink at the start and an overly sweet drink at the end. Okay, so let's actually make our simple syrup. To make our simple syrup, we will start by turning our burner to low-medium heat. Then we will add 1 cup of water, followed by 1 cup of sugar. And we will give this a good whisk so that the sugar doesn't kind of like burn onto the bottom of the pot. And now we will stir this occasionally for about 3 to 5 minutes until this dissolves. And at this point, you can still see that there's a whole bunch of the granulated sugar kind of resting at the bottom of the pot. But once this is ready, it should look clear all throughout. I will also note that simple syrup is really just a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that as long as you use the same amount of each ingredient, you're good to go. So sometimes if I know that I'm mixing a whole bunch of cocktails for a get together, maybe I will do 2 cups sugar and 2 cups water. But typically I go with these measurements, which is just 1 cup sugar and 1 cup water, which is plenty if, say, I'm just mixing cocktails for my wife and I. Okay, so this has been about a minute now, I would say, and this still needs a little time, so I will come back to you guys in a couple minutes when this is looking a little more dissolved. Okay, so it might be hard for you guys to see this in this dark pot, but basically this is fully dissolved now, so I am going to shut off the heat and remove this from the heat to cool. So I will come back shortly once that's cooled and we will transfer it to an airtight container. Okay, so the simple syrup has now cooled enough, so I am going to transfer it to this measuring glass first before I transfer it to my airtight containers. And the only reason I'm doing that is just to use the pour spout from the measuring glass because pouring from my pot sucks. So I just try to pour it quick here at this step. Okay, now I will use the measuring glass to pour this into my containers that I will actually store the simple syrup in. And there you have simple syrup, guys. It's as simple as that. Cheers.